Good Friday afternoon, evening, or maybe
Hey,
even Saturday. Hey, we're back. We're back live again. You're lowering your desk or raising your
no,
desk?
I'm putting it higher so that my head is not
Your head's not there.
above the
Okay.
camera or something.
Yeah, got it. How are you doing? I haven't talked to
Still
you in 2
alive?
weeks.
Yeah.
What's it been like being away from me for 2 weeks? Probably a very good thing.
What was it like being away from myself for 2 weeks?
Being away from me for 2 weeks.
Ah,
Um,
I missed you.
oh.
I
Okay.
mean, it's kind of like, it's a routine that you
It
get
is.
used to. It's not anymore whether I like it or no, but it's kind of like you're breaking my routine, man.
Yep. Well, let me ask this question. So last Friday we chose not to do an episode because you were going to be at a hotel.
Yes.
So how was the Wi-Fi at the hotel?
I haven't checked it, to be honest. I
Oh,
mean,
you
I
didn't
did
check it.
check, open my laptop and phone, but when you, without checking whether things are, you know.
Usable or
I mean,
not?
they had Wi-Fi. I could Google things, right? But Googling things is not
Is not
a
this.
measure of, yeah, exactly.
Not this. By the way, before we get into everything, congratulations to StreamYard. They got bought this week. The
Cool.
day before my credit card was charged. Otherwise, I probably would have been on a different platform this week. So congratulations to StreamYard. We'll
Why?
see how it goes.
Who bought them? Why are you so disappointed?
Bending Spoons bought them.
I don't even know what it is.
Bending
What
Spoons
is
are the ones that bought Evernote and raised the prices by double.
Hmm.
And they bought other things too. So I'm not against Bending Spoons. Don't get me wrong. And I am a capitalist through and through. They've just done some things that have made me sort of scratch my head. So we'll see.
I don't
I mean, I'm in
remember the
for I'm in
price,
for a
but-
year, right? So it's good.
I don't remember the price, but I remember that last time I renewed it, it was, oh man, this is actually expensive.
So
As is now.
well, I'll tell you what it is. I don't mind because it's on the site. So we have the Pro plan, which gives us 1080p, and I pay for a year in advance. So there's a little bit of a discount. So it's $468. So
That's a bloody lot, yes.
so it's $40-ish a month, plus or minus, right? So right at four, because
You
otherwise
said
it's more.
800 a year.
No, 468. I don't know what it would
468, yeah.
Yeah, now it may be 800 in euro. I don't know, but
Yeah, but yeah, 40 a month, yeah.
but let me look at it this way. We use this for other things. So if we were only using it for this, and we did 48 shows a year, which is probably about right by the time we factor out some things that we miss, $10 a show. That's not too bad. And I'm not having to have
Depends on what you compare it with, right?
exactly. Now there are other things that are better, but for ease of use for us and bringing other people in, this is one of the simplest. We have to
No,
agree
I'm not
to
going
that.
to Zoom.
We're not going through Zoom. We're not. I love Ecamm, but I'd have to have really fat. I mean, if I were like you and had fiber at home, then okay, maybe I would probably go for that. But I don't have fiber.
Does Ecamm have service similar to StreamYard that others
No,
can connect
no.
to? No.
It still has to come connect into wherever I'm at, and then I would broadcast from there. Why are we talking about
That
this?
sounds silly to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if you had a lot of fiber and redundant fiber, then okay. Whatever. And Martin, good to see you as well, from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I think, okay, so I've had 2 weeks to gather information for the show today. 2 weeks.
Is it AI and AI and AI?
Okay. So actually, no, it's not.
No.
All the AI people seem to have gone to sleep. Maybe they're burned out from KubeCon. I don't know. But here's what I've noticed. Now this week was Google Next, which we have a couple items from that. Grafana Con. I can't remember the name of theirs. So anybody watching from
Okay.
Grafana, I apologize. Is that right? Is that what it's called? Grafana Con?
Let's
Whatever.
say it is.
Those were the two bigs this week. There wasn't anything last week. So I think everybody's still in a KubeCon hangover. Or they were getting ready for Google Next. So there's not much news this week. So we'll be here for as long as we're here.
I mean, Google Next, I did watch. I managed to watch 15 minutes. I couldn't take it anymore.
Okay. I didn't
That
watch
was
any of it.
AI and AI and AI and AI and AI and AI.
Okay, I will go ahead and spoil it. I have one AI thing this week. Just one. Because the other stuff that I saw that was AI related was like, okay, So what? I'm getting a lot of so whats. I think we went through, the initial so what cycle to, oh, that's pretty cool. And now we're back down to the so what cycle. So maybe now we're, when you go through the whole valley, maybe we're in that valley, and now we'll start seeing the normalcy of it. But anyway, hi, by the way, my name is Darren. This over here is Victor, and we're the co-host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox that releases on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. I think I said everything. Yeah, I did. Okay. So you got back from your trip. You're live. That's still good. Hey, Andy, Finland. Can you remember if we've had anybody on from Finland, or at least it said it live?
Andy.
Oh, okay.
Andy.
Good.
Hey, Andy.
Let's just go and get into what is left of the news, because there's not much in the news this week. The episode that we had, not this week, 2 days ago, but a week ago, was Joseph Sandoval on from Adobe. If you've never listened to any of our podcasts before, any of the episodes, this is the one you need to go listen to.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't know about the episode because I haven't listened to it, but the conversation we had was absolutely bloody amazing.
Yeah. It's again, I've said it before, even before I finished editing it, probably one of my favorites, at least from a technical perspective. It's not deep technical, but it gives you enough information to know that if you think you're doing things at scale, you aren't. That's the way I feel about it. Joseph was a great guest. And then this week, we reviewed a blog post that we'd actually talked about before. It's called Almost Every Infrastructure Decision I Endorse or Regret. We talked about it probably a month ago. And of course, startup infrastructure choices, I had to put in a foosball table, because isn't that the first tool that you buy when you're doing a startup, is a foosball table?
Yes.
Maybe that's what you did when I was in startups.
Pac-Man console.
Pac-Man machines.
Machine, exactly.
Yeah. So, and I'm not even sure what next week is. I think it's another interview with someone. I think it was with Wave Terminal, with Mike. Very interesting conversation. I haven't finished editing it yet, so that'll be coming next Wednesday. And we are getting ready to start recording a bunch more. Like over the next few weeks, we are. How can I put it nicely? We're almost going to be done through August within the next 3 weeks. We record early, by the way, in case you don't know it. So if for some reason you might be saying, man, why aren't they talking about X? It's because we record early. Because I have to have everything done.
No, we don't record early. We release late.
Okay, we'll release. That's fine. Because I have to remember that Victor goes on holiday. I have to say it the European way. Goes on holiday basically starting July 1st and doesn't come back until November 1st. So I have to, try to get everything in so we can be ready. It's not that bad. August is. Everybody knows that August is a big deal. So yeah. I try to keep August off. Let's talk about a couple of the Google things. Now, Google's getting into the ARM chip business, which isn't surprising, because this is a great thing, right? ARM is making money hand over fist. They actually don't produce anything. They just license everything. That's their business model. So now we have new ARM-based CPUs.
It was a matter of time, to be honest. Everything is turning around AIs now, and NVIDIA basically holding the whole market could not last forever. Like, if I would have money to invest into companies for GPUs, I would invest in anybody but NVIDIA right now. I mean, they're so high now, but the others must be following. This is companies cannot miss this train. And for companies like cloud providers like Google, Amazon, and Azure, they will all be building their own chips. I'm sure of that.
Well, they already have been, but now it's going to become even more critical to them, right? Because
exactly,
it's expensive. Now you can get custom silicon without. You've got people that know how to build custom silicon now, and ARM has made it simple to do that. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes next. In fact, I saw a rumor today. Sorry to get back on the Apple bandwagon. That the M4 is going to be all about AI, not surprisingly, and that every family of the M4 chips will be able to run AI locally.
Oh yeah.
So I may skip M3 completely. So I'm coming to you right now on an M1. My office is an M2. I probably won't get an M3. I'll wait until the M4s come out, and that'll be the next cycle of things.
I don't know what M4 will be, but to be honest, I don't see a compelling reason to switch from M1 to anything done so far. I don't see a reason for that.
I agree.
Switch from Intel, any Intel you can imagine, to M1, that's huge. Kind of like nobody should not switch. But from M1 to anything else, they're so good now that I see no reason. I will skip M4 as well.
Yeah. Well, again, remember how I buy. I go to the refurb store and I get the lowest base model price. It's like, I need a new machine, buy the base model. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But again, WWDC is in 2 months, June timeframe. So we might talk about that a little bit more. We'll see how AI plays out. The other item, so there were okay, let me put it this way. From Google Next, there were a ton of announcements. But for what we really care about, I mean, chips I care about because that leads to what we do next. But I couldn't find a whole lot of things that we really care about except these next two items. First one is a container platform for the next decade of AI and beyond. Okay, again, like you said, AI. But it was like containers. So then it gets down to Cloud Run and GKE and blah, blah, blah. Cloud Run for an easy AI starting point. Because they've also now integrated in other stuff. Now, I did see some cool stuff about Cloud Run, but I didn't pull it in for today because it wasn't that cool. GKE.
When I saw that title, title does not reveal it's Google Cloud Run, that was my first association. This must be Cloud Run something, right?
Yeah.
Just adapted not to serve requests probably, but probably to run some as some kind of a job, right?
Right. Well, what you could do in Cloud Run anyway, right? You could do batch stuff anyway.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. Training reference, blah, blah, blah. And then enterprise platform. I thought there was, I'm trying to find okay, I couldn't find the point I was looking for on that. But anyway, this was like okay, good. Yeah, AI on these two things. Sure, why not? But then this, App Hub. Forget your application, or manage your application. Forget your application. Boy, that's a Freudian slip. Manage your application, forget the toil. So what this is App Hub, which simplifies cloud application deployment and management by providing an accurate representation of deployed applications. One that understands all resource dependencies, regardless of Google Cloud products they use. So what is it? Basically, to me,
you love those explanations that don't give you any clue what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So it abstracts them into services and workloads. What does that sound like to you?
And those services, and I mean, I'm guessing that service is probably any like networking or load balancers and storage, right? Probably.
Well, let me simplify it for you. They can be grouped into applications, but a service is a front-end service, and a workload is a back-end service, right?
That's very confusing to me, but okay.
Yeah, and this metaphor has been in other places, right? You have batch and web service, right? Heroku had that, right? You had a batch thing and I think even Fly has had that as well. I can't even remember now. But then you can group them all together, organize it, define administrative. So basically what they've had is we've had all of the pieces. Now we've got a layer of abstraction on it that we can actually not care about even the lower pieces anymore. That's what I think it is.
Yeah. Just that, and this is not only for this news, but in general, I have a real difficulty understanding. When somebody says service, it can mean so many things, right? Kind of, is it a Kubernetes service? No. Is it a Google Cloud service, like Postgres as a service? Is it a front-end application happens to be called a service? No, everything in Kubernetes is called a service. Or too many things are service. Everything is a service in the end.
Right. So now we have yet one more service.
What's wrong with back and front end? Doesn't that sound like easier to understand? If in this diagram you would have back end and front end.
Yeah, or batch and web service.
Yeah.
Or web.
Yeah.
Or or accessible and batch or something. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, this is the one that looks interesting to me. It's free. It's available now. It's just another layer to make visibility better. That's what this is all about, right? It's visibility.
Yeah.
So this is the one that's most interesting to me. But all the other announcements that I saw were like, okay, sure, why not? Nothing against it, but that was just like, whatever. Nikos, good to see you. Thanks for joining us live here today. And also GrafanaCon happened this week. And there were a lot of things that came out of it, but this is the one that I was like, oh, okay. So Grafana has open sourced Alloy. Mm-hmm. So it's their OpenTelemetry Collector with extra Prometheus stuff in it. It is Apache 2.0 licensed.
Nice.
It's very, very the right way to do it. So again, why another collector? Sure, why not? But basically what they're doing is they give you the ability to do clustering. They say here, enterprise grade features, all included. A built-in vault for enhanced security, all out of the box. Have to be careful with how you say vault there, I guess. But
because Grafana is a kind of a mystery to me as a company, right? They don't have self-managed enterprise anything. It's all open source, and they get all the income from SaaS, right?
From the SaaS. As best as I know, I believe that's correct. So you're going to move from agent, that's their agent, and agent operator now deprecated and now LTS, and they will die next November. So this to me is like, okay, this was their custom thing, just like how you had the Datadog specific and you had the New Relic specific.
Exactly.
Everything is going to OpenTelemetry.
Yeah.
If your application that you are writing today does not ship OpenTelemetry, and in fact, we talked about it 2 weeks ago, now OpenTelemetry is working on profiling. We're stable with metrics, traces, and logs. Profiling is coming.
Language, but yes.
Okay, right.
I mean, sorry, spec is stable.
The spec is stable, yes.
Yeah.
Implementation's not, right. Not across the board. But they're coming, and that's the key part, is they're all coming. If you, in your application you're writing, you are not emitting OpenTelemetry, what are you doing?
Just silly.
What are you doing? So this is one that I'm wanting to spin up and sort of play with a little bit more, because this picture is exactly what it is. Alloy's the collector, right? That's its whole purpose in life, is a collector. But then it's also doing more than observability, so production-ready pipelines. This is what seems interesting to me more than anything else. Modules distill an unwieldy large config file into a single module that's a few lines. Okay, great. Which is what I need. GitOps friendly. Okay. You can pull configs from anywhere. Great. Built for scale. Interesting. Oh, it is connecting with HashiCorp Vault. Okay, good. And debug utilities. And then also, obviously, it can pump out to the backside to Grafana Cloud. That makes sense.
Nice.
Right? Why not? 1.0. And then actually, if you go over to the... Where was I reading it? I think it was this one. I'll just do this. By the way, I've already got all the links down. If you're watching on YouTube, by the way, hi, everybody over on X. We are also live on X again today. This goes through the full thing. So it's a OT. Okay. I want to say something. I have a soapbox point here. So OTLP, not to be confused with OLTP, as an old database person.
Yeah. That's what my brain read the first time I saw it. I read it OLTP.
Yeah, no, it's OTLP, which is the OpenTelemetry compatible. So built-in Prometheus, blah, 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 metrics, traces, logs, and profiles. That's the reason why I brought profiles back up. Why use it? Pull configs, great. Better workload distribution, okay, whatever. Natively ingest metrics, traces, logs, and profiles compatible with compatibility formats like Prometheus, OpenTelemetry, Memmer, which we've talked about before, Loki, Tempo, and Pyroscope. We've talked about all of those, I think, except Pyroscope.
The mystery to me is Grafana is doing such an amazing job. Kind of, if any of the tools listed there, if you ask me, I would say that's the de facto standard. Kind of like that's what we should use, right? Kind of, if somebody asked me observability, give me the tools for this or that, I would say Grafana, and Grafana, right? Yet, when I look at big companies, enterprises, I never see Grafana tools. It's always Datadog or one of those. What's missing there for them is what is confusing me.
Yeah. Sebastian, hi, by the way. Good to see you. I can't remember if that was true or not. I'm not doubting you, but I haven't verified it. All I know is, we'll take a look at it in a second. I was shocked that it was Apache based on what I was looking at. So collect, transform, write. Great. Let's see, was this where, yeah, Apache 2.0. Period.
Yeah.
1.0. This is the screen. Let me see if we get a better screen. Yeah, it's hard to see. Typical, in fine fashion, basic UI, which is, we're talking about configurations. We don't need big things. A programmable pipeline. This is what I don't understand. So a powerful observability pipeline. I am not talking well today. By the way, I had a crown replaced yesterday. So I'd had a crown put on 20 years ago, and it was failing, so I had to get a new one put on yesterday. Less than 24 hours ago, my mouth is still just a hair numb. So configuration syntax. Interesting. I don't know, man. This is, you can use VS Code or Vim to write Alloy configuration files. Alloy format command. Oh, nice. This looks... Did I just create more work for you this weekend? Is that what I'm...
Yeah, I already have Alloy on my to-do list.
Did you already have it, or did you just add it?
I did. I have
Okay.
it. You know how it goes with to-do lists.
Yeah, I know. Collector, Big Tent, blah, blah, blah. Kubernetes native. Okay. Shareable pipelines. Here's an example. Okay, so we're receiving from that. We're outputting these things. I'll just have to play with it some. It looks interesting. Minor release candidate, or minor release is planned every 6 weeks. That seems pretty reasonable. Based on upstream of the collector code. Again, I'll say it one more time. If you're producing an application that's not emitting OpenTelemetry, you need to go talk to your product people right now. If you are the product person, you need to rethink some things.
Yeah, especially since it's easy. Kind of, you can instrument almost any code right now automatically to output instrumentation, right? Now, it's not going to be great. Let me say that. But you can do it. It takes like 2 minutes.
It's interesting what's special. I think Grafana's problem is that's not one integrated tool with everything but several tools.
Maybe. I don't know much about, I haven't used Grafana SaaS, right? I can only imagine that I can only imagine that argument is correct when you self-managed, but SaaS, and I'm talking now about SaaS because Datadog is SaaS as well. When using SaaS, you see really Grafana dashboard, right? Behind the scenes, they're storing your metrics wherever they're storing and logs and stuff like that. So I can only guess that SaaS looks like one solution, right? I might be wrong.
Possibly. Now, maybe they keep, because the SaaS, it looks like one solution, but if you're trying to roll it inside your 4 walls, because you can't.
Oh, yeah, then it's
right.
not one.
Then it's just a bunch of tools, right? Then you push it.
It's a bunch of tools.
Yeah.
But, kind of behind SaaS solutions is also a bunch of tools. You just don't see a bunch of tools. That's exactly the major difference. But it's always a bunch of tools. Like we spoke earlier about Google Cloud Run. For you, it's Google Cloud Run. For Google, it's a bunch of tools. Or services.
Bunch of tools. Okay. So anyway, that's Grafana Alloy. I'm going to be looking into this. I've already been talking to some other people about it. Just going, Do we know anybody at Grafana?
Do we what?
Do we know anyone at Grafana to come on and talk about Alloy?
Probably. I just don't never ask people where they work when I meet them. Probably. I need to check who works in Grafana, and then I will tell you who I know there.
Okay.
But we should invite them if that's where you're going.
Okay. Next up is JetBrains. New tools came out, but here's the big deal. It brings AI-powered full-line code completion. Not a big deal, but this next sentence. It runs locally without sending any data over the internet.
Yeah,
Bingo.
That's big now.
It's built into the UI. It is not leaving the machine.
That's where everybody's going, because that's probably
Yeah.
the major obstacle from those tools being adopted by enterprises.
Yep.
I'm actually I'm not informed, so I might be wrong, but I would be surprised that Microsoft is not offering something similar with Copilot or whatever they're having. I would be surprised if they're not yet.
Think all of that is still headed out the four walls. I don't think it's local yet.
Okay, then. I mean, I have no intention using local because I'm not working in that type of a company. But for big enterprises, yeah, it's a must.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's one thing to, even if you're a big enterprise and you wanted to run the brains centrally, it's still, you weren't doing it on the local machine. Now here's the problem. For people that are using this, how much power do they need? I haven't dug through to see what the specs are, like recommended specs if you wanted to do this. But
okay, I just realized that I misunderstood what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I thought when they said local that they meant local within our network.
No, local. Your machine
That
local.
makes no sense to me.
Why? You have the
Because-
model built in locally on your machine. You don't have to even egress your
So
machine.
I'm talking about enterprises now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't it make more sense to have Copilot, GPT, something running in your data center, right? Or at least your VPC, and then using it the same way as you use ChatGPT, right?
As a vendor or as an enterprise?
Enterprise.
That would be fine. This is just the next level. If I wanted to be
Exactly.
disconnected, then I'm not going to be on the network. I'm not going to VPN if I'm in an airplane. I still
Oh,
want
yeah. No, for that, yeah. But I just assume that it might be a strain to
Okay.
machines. Who knows?
Okay. This is my daughter. Hi. Good to see you. Call me sometime because you never call me. Not right now. I just think it's interesting that now that you made the point, right? Okay, we want it inside the four walls, but now I'm saying I don't even want it to leave my brick, whatever my brick is.
Yeah.
Anyway, this isn't surprising from JetBrains, but now they've launched the first volley, I think, just because. It's because they could. Will they do this in VS Code? Excuse me. I don't think this will be in VS Code. Will it be in Visual Studio? Maybe.
By JetBrains? No.
No, I'm saying when Microsoft releases the next version of Visual Studio at what's their build conference, I think is in June, May-June
So
timeframe.
here's a question out
Yeah.
of my ignorance. Is anybody using Visual Studio still?
Yes. A lot of people
Really?
still
Okay.
are.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah, it's
I always hear about VS Code, right? Okay.
yeah. But Visual Studio is still a big thing. For people that are writing real .NET things, then yes, it's still a real thing.
Oh, yeah. For that, yeah. But Microsoft does not seem like a company that prioritizes one over the other, right? Or am I wrong there?
I think you're wrong there as well.
Okay.
I think VS Code has gotten a lot more traction, let's put it that way, because anybody can use it for anything, whereas Visual Studio has typically been targeted more towards the Microsoft languages.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm trying to be careful how I say that.
I was about to ask, my next question was, is anybody using Microsoft languages? But I know the answer. I know I'm wrong.
Yeah, C# is still a big thing. In fact, they even go here, because JetBrains also has a lot of Microsoft support too. So anyway, I think this space is going to be interesting to watch over the next 12 months. Especially as people get new hardware that they can. I mean, think about it. You're not going to run an AI model on the typical enterprise issued 4 gig laptop. It's just not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's to be seen. Kind of like, um, if that JetBrains thingy alone uses more than 1 gig, I would say no. And I'm stretching it now. I mean, it sounds like, 1 gig is not a lot, right? But it is actually a lot. Considering that I have containers running, I have VMs running, you have a bunch of things running. And then there is Chrome who uses everything else, plus.
Yeah. Okay. There were there one or two? There was one big Java user conference this week, DevNexus in Atlanta, which has been put on by the Atlanta Java Users Group. It's been going on for years. And sort of aligned with that was the Commonhaus Foundation. Did you see this? You're not in the Java world anymore, so you probably don't care about it. So it's a new foundation for projects that just need a home. They don't need let's think Linux Foundation, which has the CNCF and which has all the other things, right? Simple. Hibernate, Jackson, JBang, which is one of my favorites. That's doing scripting in Java. You can laugh at me if you want. JReleaser, which is a clone, air quote, of GoReleaser. By the way, GoReleaser is amazing. JReleaser is amazing. It makes life great.
Wait, stop. Was Hibernate at the top of the list?
Hibernate was at the top of the list.
Was that not already in a foundation?
It was not. It was still under Red Hat.
Oh, I had no idea.
It was still under Red Hat.
If you ask me where is Hibernate, I would say I don't know where, but it's in a foundation 100%. So it wasn't. Okay, that's
in fact,
that's
because this is what tripped it for me. This post here from Gavin, why move it to foundation? So since the release of Hibernate 6, blah, blah, blah. So here it is. Red Hat's leadership and sponsorship have been a source of stability, continuity, and user confidence. We don't want to undermine that. But now what we'd like to do is open it up to other groups that want to feel included. So this is part of the problem when something lives inside of a company. Right. That's the key part, is getting it out from underneath the company window, because it didn't happen, but Hibernate could have gone BSL. Right? It could have happened.
I feel that we are now at the beginning of a new era where open source project that is not in a foundation will not receive contributions from companies other than the one who created it in the first place, because it's too risky, right? Why would, company dedicate engineering hours to a project that belongs to a different company? Like in this case, that would be Red Hat, right? But it could be any other company. Why would you do that?
It's too risky. It is too risky.
I mean, for you as a user, not necessarily, right?
Yeah.
Right now. Sorry, that was wrong. For you as a user, it's risky, but we haven't seen those risks materialize yet. It's still risky. We haven't seen the proof of that. But as a company, oh my. I cannot imagine anybody being so silly. Imagine now wherever you're working, contributing to Terraform. Why would you do that? And I'm not trying to trash Terraform now. It can be the same for any other, MongoDB or Elastic or any other. Who's going to contribute? Nobody.
Yeah, it goes back. This is what we're trying to do. For the last 20 years, development of Hibernate has been funded and sponsored by JBoss and then by Red Hat, because Red Hat bought JBoss. 20 years. It stayed safe. Support is still critical because Hibernate's embedded in JBoss still, and Quarkus and other things. So, but getting back to this, Hibernate Jackson, which is JSON, XML, all the things. If you're a Java person and you're not using Jackson, you're not doing 2020 things. JBang is my favorite. JReleaser is great. Morphia, which is a Mongo library. Then Open Rewrite, which is cool for refactoring Java code. So again, all this is about Java. I don't think it's Java specific, but this was very interesting. And when
I mean, it doesn't say Java anywhere
No.
from a quick lens, but all the projects are Java projects.
Yep. And it's based on the legacy of Code. You remember Codehouse, right? Codehouse was before Maven Central was. So if you've never looked at Codehouse, talk about history. This goes way back. But they closed in April of 2015. So, Commonhaus Foundation. One AI tool this week. One. Count them one. Plandex. This one, unlike Alloy, is a GPL. So take it, use it. Don't try to build a company on it. Let's just put it that way. An open source, reason why I put it in here for you, Victor, terminal-based AI coding engine.
Terminal-based AI coding engine, okay.
Think AI for Vim.
Okay.
Hey.
Might be too much for me.
It might be too much for you. Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know about this, but it was interesting, and it's the first one that I saw like this. Now, they do talk about, at the bottom of this page, very interesting, all the comparable tools, GitHub Copilot's listed on there. Well, in fact, we talked about it. GitHub Copilot is now available from the CLI, right? You get explain and you get whatever the other thing was, but you don't get probably what's here.
Yeah. I just never used it to CLI, but yes.
Well,
Which is very strange coming from me. I tend to use CLI for everything.
For everything. I did see there was a new update to the latest charm thing. I can't remember the name of it now, but it didn't really change anything. Sorry. But Plandex, it looks interesting. I'm just not sure if it's what I want to do. And then you had two videos since we were together last. You had Nick's.
Yeah, Devbox.
Devbox.
Oh, amazing. All the repos I started for a while now are based on Devbox. Actually, Devbox is the reason why I did the Nix video. Because I did not want to talk about Devbox until I talk about Nix, and then I talked about Nix, or I can talk about Devbox. Devbox is amazing.
That's by the way, you're wearing the same shirt today. That's interesting.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's a cleaned version of it.
It's the clean version of that one.
It's not the same one. I mean, it is the same shirt, but it's been cleansed since then. Okay. I promise.
All right. And then this week's video, Kyverno chainsaw.
Well, look at that picture. Dude, I look red as if I'm...
Well, okay. Here, so I don't know. Let's see. Does that...
Yeah. Anyways, absolutely amazing. Chainsaw is a special one because I was introduced to Chainsaw, and first it was great because I cannot continue using Cuttle. I'm using it only because, I mean, when I say Cuttle, it's confusing. Kuttl. I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm going to continue calling it Cuttle. Cuttle is horrible, unmaintained, but the only one. And so Chainsaw was very exciting for me that finally we have a tool that is maintained for testing Kubernetes resources. Then I was very, very disappointed because it introduces some relatively complex logic in YAML. So I discarded it, but then I get back to it, and now I love it again. It's amazing. It's my go-to tool for testing anything Kubernetes resource wise.
And that's all the news we have for this week. It's just one of those weeks there wasn't much going on. Why is that?
Not every week.
Well, there's a big conference next week.
I know why, because nobody develops anything that is not AI now.
Oh. And they're realizing as soon as they get it done, it's like, oh, wait, that was shipped 3 weeks ago while we were working on our version of it. That could be it. There is a big conference next week in Seattle. CDCon is next week. Along with OpenSSF is having their one day. I think it's a 2 day. I think it's a 2 day conference. I've lost track. I'm not going because it's Seattle. Too far to go. By the way, guess what? I haven't told you this either. It has been a couple weeks. I got accepted to speak at a conference.
Oh, which one?
It's local. It's the Southeast Linux something. I can't remember the name of it right now. Nice. Sorry for anybody watching from there. I'm still sort of getting used to it. I have.
It's more like that I'm impressed you will be out of your house.
Yeah, but it's only 25 minutes from the house.
For a walk around the block.
Yeah, but it's only 25 minutes from the house, so it's not like I'm going anywhere.
That's a lot for you, man.
So I've got three sessions to do.
Oh.
Which, yeah, That's what I thought too. I'm doing one on Jenkins, which is fine. That'll be interesting. I can't remember the title that I've set for it. I'm doing one on Olama, getting started with Olama, which will be fun because they keep coming out with new stuff that now I've got to figure out, okay, how do I wrap that in and make it make sense? And then the third one is how to get started with podcasting, of all things.
Oh, nice.
Just a random, because they do. There's lots of interesting things at this conference. So.
Oh, I can already imagine you will start with whatever you're doing with audio, you're doing it wrong.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly pretty much how I'm going to start. I'm thinking, because I'm starting to piece it together in my head. Okay, how do I tell the story of, you don't want to be Joe Rogan on day one and have the studio and spend. You want the money he's making, but you don't want to do what he's having to do to get there. Maybe you do. I don't know. We keep ours
Here's
simple.
a summary from my side. If I would be starting now, use your iPhone, buy a mic,
Buy a
get
good
a
mic.
light.
Get a light.
Yes.
You don't need anything else.
Not
Well,
special
actually-
light. You can use any light from your home. Just kind of point it at you, right?
Yep. Be in a quiet place if you can. Wear headphones. Headphones. There's a reason why
Not
we have
when you
mics right in
record.
front. There's a reason why this sounds really good and this doesn't sound very good. Because there's a reason why a microphone is meant to be in front of your face. It's to be able to hear you and be able to understand what people are saying. Anyway, I'll have 3. So I have to have all those done. That's the first week in June. So I have a little bit of time. Not much if I have to write 3, though. And edit podcasts. Anyway, I think that's it for today. We should be back next week. I'm hoping that there's news between now and next Friday. I'm hoping.
Something.
Well, with the conference happening next week, at least there should be at least 1 or 2 announcements, I hope, of something. It's a smaller conference, but it should still be fun. Are you going anywhere next week? I know we're recording next week. You're home next week, I think.
No, not next week. I'm going.
I think it's the week after that you're
starting like a month from now. Then I will be all around. Starting from May, I think.
Which is why we're trying to record as many episodes. Because what I don't want to do is have Victor on the road and we have to record podcast. Because number 1, he's at a conference. I don't want to bug him. Number 2, hotel Wi-Fi. I don't need to say anything else. Number 3, conference Wi-Fi. I really don't have to say anything else. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for being here with us live. Karis and my other daughter, Jessie, thank you for joining me. You can go back to doing whatever it is that you're doing. I don't understand why you're watching me, but thank you. And we'll be back next week. I think that should be a good way to end today. What do you think? Is there anything else, Victor?
That's it.
Go do AI things this weekend. Is that what it is?
No,
Go do AI
yeah,
things,
for
go
me.
learn Alloy, and that'll be it, right?
Yeah, Alloy. That's probably something I will be playing with.
Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you again next week.